So in 2011, we started the eco-mix from Australia. So we were trying to get the cocoa fiber from India, and we were sourcing from different companies. And we have so much of issues with the cocoa bag, the inconsistencies, and a lot of things where the manufacturers don't understand back in India. So I have to learn from what the growers exactly wanted in Australia. So then with my background in manufacturing engineering, what I did was I went back to India and started my own factory and researching and developing the product just to suit Australian market. So when I started in 2011, mostly even the coir industry wasn't expanded that much in India, and the technology wasn't there. And also it was just at the early stage in most of the places in the world. So at that time, mixes wasn't right. In a cocopeat growing media, the three components there: water holding, aeration, and drainage. So the better cocopeat has better quality of water holding and ambient air and a better drainage. So when you manufacture a grow bag, when you compare cocopeat and grow bag, they are two different things. Cocopeat is just the peat, the fiber, all the mixes, whereas the grow bags are a bit different. Grow bags has to be manufactured or crafted according to the crop's requirement. So in grow bags, sometimes manufacturers believe that just different type of mixes actually giving the right benefits. So a grow bag has to be low in salt, so which means the EC or salinity has to be drawn down to less than 1 EC ms per cm, 1:1.1 ratio. So if you have that, then the growers don't need to flush it further when they receive the bags, so that they can start their setup much more quicker. So, and based on a couple of crops like cucumber and sensitive plants, very sensitive to salinity in cocopeat, so you have to really wash it down to less than 1:2 or 0.8. So that's the criteria initially you need. Then the air ratio, so that should have between 18 to 24% of air ratio should be in the bag. And another thing is the drainage. Drainage has to be, well, depends on the area, whether you are growing in a colder zone or hotter zone, you need to have the drainage and water holding need to be adjusted. So we have different type of mixes like 50% coarse husk mix and 50% peat, or 70-30, 70% fine and 30% coarse. And like blueberries, they would like to have a more drainage, so they go for 50-50 or 70-30, or sometimes people are mixing with perlite and peat moss and cocopeat together. So different kinds of mixing are used in the industry. So grow bags are predominantly designed by the growers based on their gutter system, their type of crop. So if they are growing mostly in a gutter system, they're using slabs, and based on each slabs, they have number of plants per slab. So in Australia, what they use around is 2.5 to 3 liters per plant. So in normal standard slabs are 18 liters, and they may have 4 plants or 3 plants or 5 plants. So based on that, they decide how much space they have to leave in the gutter system. And sometimes they use a bag, we call it a bag. So they are like a 2-planter bag. So it's also conveniency for growing it. So they can manage it a bit more easily. So, and another type of bag is like mainly for the cucumber, they use a smaller bag. And for raspberries, they use 8 to 9 liters of bag. For blueberries, they use 25, 27 or 30, 32 liters of bag. And blackberries, they use 27 liters of bag. So different crops needs a different water holding or the root management area. So based on that, they decide how much they want to use it. And again, it's based on the colder region to the hotter region. They change their the growing media sizes or the growing media volume. So there are so much of criteria it needs to be decided when you want to start a grow bag. In a warmer area, you need more water holding and drainage has to be there. So where in colder area, you have to look into more of drainage and you need to have the better water holding. But even the colder area you can have when you're growing in the whole season. So you can have a very hot summer as well. So you need to adjust based on that. And depends on some crops like strawberries, though they are using very shallow bags, but the volume is again measured between 2 to 2.5 liters. But then again, thickness of the slabs are a bit less, so you need to understand the gravity pull or the timing per what we call the drainage of the water from the top to the dripper to the draining time. So it's most importantly, we need to raise the bag so we have to get a maximum height on the bags. So many aspects is there to decide how the bag has to be. So usually what we do is we sit down with the grower, we understand how he's irrigating, what sort of irrigation system he has. So based on that, usually I design the bag for the growers. So mostly there is no generic term I use. Every bag we do is we custom made, we understand the grower and we make accordingly for the growers. That's what is successful e-commerce in Australia. We were getting most of the business in Australia and New Zealand. The specific advantage of growing in Cocopeat and in growing in soil, there are two reasons. One is water saving. Second thing is controlling the plants. When you are doing hydroponic growing, you are controlling the plants and you are telling the plants to grow. Whereas if you are trying to grow the plants in soil, the plants are going to grow by the way they want to grow. So you cannot control the plant. So, and when you have hydroponic system, even when you have a precision irrigation with the greenhouses, still you're growing in soil, but the plants are not listening to you. So that's why growing in Cocopeat saves a lot of water. So especially when we look at it, Cocopeat saves around 2 liters of water per plant or per day when you compare it when you're growing in soil. So it's a huge advantage on water and fertilizer, and the control is better and less disease. So you have a lot of nematodes and fungus and in soil, so which actually you have to use most of the pesticides and other things to control the diseases pressure. So whereas in Cocopeat you have less pressure, so it's much more hygiene and clean. So you get a better efficiency and better production when you are in Cocopeat or any other substrate.
Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and subscribe the YouTube channel of Agriplast Tech India Private Limited and press the bell icon to get notification when we upload a new video.